Can you tell me what is the most powerful productivity tactic? It's not the Pomodoro technique, it's not the 80-20 rule, and it's not waking up early. The most powerful productivity tactic is fasting, waking up and then not eating anything till 1 p.m. In this video, I'm going to teach you loads of interesting productivity tactics that you can use to outwork everyone. Let's start this video by talking about the routine. So there's a few things with your daily routine that will make you so much more productive. And the first one is going to sleep early. You want to be waking up early as well, of course, but you never want to be waking up early so much that you're getting sleep deprived. So the way to wake up early is actually to go to sleep early. I have a bedtime alarm. Like most people wake up to an alarm. I have an alarm to tell me when to go to sleep, which is very early. At 7 p.m., I have an alarm that tells me to turn the lights off in my apartment. I turn the lights off, I light candles instead, and I do my nighttime routine. And then at 8:20 p.m., I have the final alarm, which is like official bedtime. I stand up, I blow the candles out, I do the last little things I need to do, like put my mouth tape on, and then I go to sleep within like a 5-minute window every single night. Of course, look, when your routine's good, of course, sometimes life is going to get in the way and make you change the time that you normally do something. Usually you're going to work at 9 a.m., but today you started work at 8:30 or whatever, or usually your work finishes at 2 p.m., but today it's a bit later, whatever. That's going to happen. But if you can just stick to your routine as best as you can, you will become so much more productive. The reason why a routine is so important is because it basically automates a list of your habits. Like, think about it. A habit is one thing you do. Like, you wake up and then you meditate. That's one thing, and then habits are awesome. A routine is basically a list of habits. That's why routine is like 10 times more powerful than habit, because it's when your day becomes a habit. All of the individual things you've wanted to do, like waking up early and then meditating in the morning and stretching and reading and doing breath work and then going to the gym and working on the business and doing this thing and this thing and this thing. When you stick to a routine, which is basically doing all those habits at the same time every single day, the day becomes a habit. It becomes pretty easy to wake up and to be productive and to, study or to work on the business or whatever, that usually for most people feels like an uphill battle, but for you just feels like a normal day. Like for me, it's literally easier to wake up and to meditate and to read the book and to do the self-improvement habits and then to work and then go to the gym than it is to like literally not do those things. Like when I have an off day where, I stayed up late the day before or whatever, and so the next day I wake up and the routine's all off. The day is literally harder to do nothing than it is to do my usual thing of going to the gym at the same time and reading at the same time and working at the same time. So the first thing you can do to outwork everyone is to create like a really high performance routine. And I would start with what time you wake up and what time you go to sleep. And then I would start plotting in the times of everything else that you do. So for example, what time will you work and how long till? What time will you eat? And the big thing with this is doing the same thing at the same time every single day. Go to the gym at the same time every day. None of this bullshit where like some people go to the gym at 11 a.m. and then randomly at like 3 p.m. and then at 7 p.m. the next day. It's like there's a reason why your physique looks like shit, because you go to the gym at different times like a fucking maniac, or you work at different times of the day, or you wake up at different times of the day, or you go to sleep at different times of the day because it's the weekend, so you go to sleep later or some ridiculous shit like that. That's what peasants do. Peasants and like poor people, low-class people, they have no routine. And when it comes to the weekend, that's when they blow it all off and they stay up late and then they sleep late and then they eat different food and they eat later and whatever. It's like, no, every single day of the week, you should eat at the same time. You should eat the same food. You should go to sleep at the same time. You should wake up at the same time. Just do those 4 things and you will be like superhuman compared to the masses. Literally just the 4 things you've got to do is eat the same foods at the same times and wake up and go to sleep at the same time. Just that routine will already set you apart of most people, because it's this consistency, not just with doing the same habits every day, but when you do them at the same time every day, that's when you get this massive boost. For me, I very much noticed this a few months ago when I was really into kickboxing and I had this kickboxing fight coming up. And so I started to really dial in more than I ever had before the exact time that I would eat the same meals every single day. And I would go to bed at the same time every single day and wake up at the same time every single day. It was like I just became like twice as productive and as efficient in my movements when there's no second guessing what you should eat or when you should eat or any of this, the whole day was a routine, and I grew so much. Like, my performance in kickboxing was awesome. I ended up having that fight and I won by TKO, where I kicked him in the fucking face. And I was just like, bro, it's exactly, it went how I could have, best imagined it, because I really locked in on this routine. The second tactic that you can use to outwork everyone is eat the frog. So this is an analogy, like a thinking practice that can help you to decide which task you should be focused on. And the idea goes where, imagine we're sat at dinner and I force you to eat a frog. But I give you the option and I say, okay, you can either eat this frog right now before our dinner comes, or you can eat dinner first and then you can eat the frog afterwards. Anyone whose brain doesn't work so well, usually which comes from a high carb diet, basically if you eat a lot of carbs, you probably would have chose the wrong answer here, would have said, oh, I'll eat it after dinner, because your brain just doesn't work and you didn't think about the question properly. The real answer is to eat it before dinner. Why? Because if you have to eat a frog and you get to choose before dinner or afterwards, if you choose before dinner, there's less anticipation. You're not just there, like, imagine the guy who has to wait till after dinner. He's there thinking, oh man, I can't believe I have to eat that fucking frog after this. It's just gross, whatever. There's less of the anticipation because you get it done faster. When you eat the frog and then dinner comes out, you cleanse your palate with the nicer thing afterwards. The lesson behind this is do the hard thing first. Do the uncomfortable thing first. When you push off the uncomfortable hard task, you still get this sort of negative energy about it because you have to do that hard thing today. Like when your parents will tell you to do some chore or whatever that you really don't want to do. If you don't do it right away, it still has this negative impact in your brain and your body where, like, oh man, I've still got to go do that thing. It's like it literally just costs you more to do it later. You try and have fun in the day, let's say like back when we used to play video games and your parents would say that you had to like do the dishes or whatever. You try and play the game and enjoy yourself, but like you feel worse because of the fact you have to do that hard thing later. If you get it done fast, you get it done without that negative anticipation, and then you can go do the fun thing afterwards, which kind of cleanses your palate. So how to practically use like eat the frog is wake up and do the hard task of your business right away. So what's the big, uncomfortable, hard task? For a YouTuber, it's scripting the videos and recording the videos. What's some of the easier tasks that you can do later on in the day? Replying to comments, checking the YouTube analytics like a fucking data little nerd retard, like most of the people watching this who check their analytics, even though there's no point to do that. These are like little tasks you can do at fucking 10 p.m. on your phone or some shit, right? You can do these in between the rest break of your gym. You can do these later on when you're eating. Why would you do them first thing? Like, if you're a fucking retard and you've started posting to YouTube, I guarantee you've been doing this bullshit where you'll wake up and one of the first things you'll do is check your analytics or something. You're doing a task that is easy first thing in the morning that actually is taking some of your energy away from the big task, which is this fucking like the scripting videos, recording videos. If you're a student, the easy task is like reading through the workbook. The hard task is doing the fucking assignment, the essay, or practicing the exam papers. That's one of the best ways to study is you go print out the previous year's exam papers and you test yourself every morning, because it's very difficult to do under the time pressure and everything. To use this productively, you should ask yourself, okay, what's the big uncomfortable task that I often procrastinate? And then you just force yourself to do it first thing in the morning instead of doing those easier tasks in the morning and then just pushing off the hard thing. And this isn't just inside of your work, but this is also for your life in general. If there's an area of your life which is pretty hard, like for example, studying is harder than going to the gym, well then motherfucker, don't go to the gym first thing in the morning. You can go to the gym later, and it's easy for you to go to the gym at 5 p.m, 6 p.m, but it's hard for you to study later. So if, for example, you find studying hard but going to the gym easy, you should wake up and study first, then go to the gym afterwards. You shouldn't do it the other way around and do the easier thing that you feel motivated to do beforehand. So whatever you're struggling with getting consistent, whatever is the hard, uncomfortable thing, that should go earlier on in the day. Another lesson I want to teach you is brain points. So brain points is this term that I came up with, which is basically like an analogy. The idea is that brain points are a currency that we all have, like mental currency. where let's say we start the day with 100 brain points. When we check our phone first thing in the morning, we've just spent 5 brain points on that. When we get up and we get ready and then we go downstairs and we eat some food that's kind of like gives us some brain fog, or we have to decide what to eat, whatever, we've just lost another 10 brain points. We check our phone again, we go on Instagram, we scroll a little bit, we just lost another 10 brain points. We do that a little bit more. Maybe we go to the gym, and because it's kind of exhausting and we've socialized with people, we lost another 10 brain points. Eventually, we only have 40 left. You said all day that you were going to do this big hard task, like record the video or study. You sit down and you feel mentally incapable to do that task. The reason why is because the task that we feel incapable to do costs more brain points than we currently have. Let's say recording a video takes 55 brain points, but we only have 40. So you kind of sit down, but you just feel mentally incapable. You probably relate to this, right? So there's some days where you've wanted to work hard, you've wanted to be productive, but you literally feel like mentally incapable to do the task. That's because you've spent too many brain points on bullshit that morning instead of putting it into the big task. How you should live your life is you should wake up, do the task first, so you go from 100 brain points to maybe 45 left after you've done the YouTube video, then go do the other things, like the easier things, right? It's like, why are we wasting our brain points on tasks that are actually kind of easy and, you know, they're like bad habits, like checking your phone, right? That takes some of your mental energy away. If you woke up ready to be productive, but you check your phone first thing and then there's like an angry message from your dad or something, that's just made you stupider that day. You should have done the big hard task first instead of spending some of your brain points on this random shit. This isn't just about like, you know, what you do first thing in the morning, like we just covered with Eat the Frog, but this is also what you do after you've worked. So let's say you've had a productive day. You woke up, you recorded videos, you went to the gym, but then let's say you have kind of a chaotic evening. You get into an argument with someone, whether it's your family or your girlfriend, and you scroll and whatever, and you've sapped your brain points so much at nighttime that tomorrow you wake up with less. Tomorrow you only wake up with 90, with 80 brain points, and you've got less to play with because you've spent too much yesterday. Because what we do today 100% affects what we do tomorrow. So many guys who watch this channel, they're doing well. They wake up and they focus on business first. Okay, awesome. But then the rest of their day, once they're kind of done with business, done with the gym, the rest of the day is so bad. They like check their phone so much. They're just scrolling. They're messaging some hoe or something. They're just wasting their fucking energy. And then they feel more tired tomorrow. And so even though they think they're being like entrepreneurs and super productive and consistent, they're actually only like waking up and eating the frog like 4 days a week because they're draining their brain points of the other moments. You know, they're going on some date with some girl they don't even like, or they're just wasting time in an argument or playing video games or whatever. So the idea behind brain points is to think to yourself, okay, well, what can I do to conserve my brain points and to make sure I'm not wasting them on some bullshit that's not valuable? Like when you scroll, and especially when you check comments, you're spending brain points so quickly. You're scrolling and your brain is hearing all this context of like, oh, this political issue, and oh, this guy is arguing with this girl and whatever. And your brain has to learn all this because, you know, we're still like cavemen at the end of the day. So our brain feels like, oh, you really need to know what's happening between these two influencers, and what did Andrew Tate just do, and oh, this and whatever. And that's basically mentally exhausting you. And you think it's not bad because it's at the end of a hard day. But here's the thing. Let's say it's the end of a hard day and you've got 20 brain points left. You can choose to sit around and unwind like with a good nighttime routine, which will actually increase your brain points, or you can sap the last brain points playing video games or scrolling. Most guys who are fucking pussies will tell you, yeah, you know, at the end of a hard day, just spend the brain points, right? But the truth is, if you don't spend the brain points, you get them tomorrow. So the version of you that goes to sleep without that 1 hour of unwinding on video games tonight, he can wake up with 120 brain points. Do you see the point here? Don't spend your brain points on bullshit that's literally not helping you at all. Because if you save some of your brain points, you get it extra tomorrow. This is how I can wake up with like 300 brain points and I can get done so much extra work than most people. Because I live a pretty simple life. I don't get into arguments with people. Like let's put this into perspective. Yesterday, there was a girl that I had, just went on like a couple of dates with, and she started blowing up my phone with some bullshit. And so I basically just sent her a short like voice message just saying like, okay, like I don't like this attitude, goodbye. She sent me another 5 messages, long messages. You know the type of shit that I know for a fact, don't you lie, you would have fucking read and responded. I saw that she sent me a bunch of shit. I didn't even read it. I just went off the text and I was like, yep, don't even give a shit. Goodbye. That simple. That's the kind of lifestyle you want to have. Now, of course, if that's your wife, it's a bit different. But it's like, bro, don't have any fucking bullshit with like some girl you just started talking to on, you know, on Instagram, whatever. If someone's being a bit weird or rude, or let's say you're dating a girl and she says that she can't meet you today and you start getting anxious about it or some shit, or you have an argument with your family, it's like, bro, stop this shit. What, you want to be broke forever? You do realize that rich people actively conserve their brain points from all of like life's bullshit. I haven't checked my own emails in fucking years. Like, just think about that. I haven't checked my own emails in years. Why? Because I pay someone else to do it, so my brain points aren't sapped from it. In fact, I have my family check it, and they messaged me yesterday saying that the BBC wants to interview me. You know how like all these news companies want to interview like masculine influencers to try and make you look bad or whatever. And it's like, bro, I didn't even fucking respond. Who gives a fuck about the BBC, mainstream media, fucking bullshit, wokeism, left-wing, weird shit like that, pedophile fucking protecting companies? Who gives a shit? I see this thing of like, oh, we can put you on TV. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to use my brain points to get put on fucking TV to argue with like these fucking pussies and try and convince them that masculinity is important. That's like, why would I waste my time doing that when I'm here to actually help you? See, the difference is there's things that I get invited to that I choose not to pursue, even though there could be a bit of a business benefit, because overall I'd rather conserve my brain points to actually helping you and doing the big task. This program that's on the screen behind me is Library of Adonis, by the way, and inside of it I make like super interesting courses and training programs which cover things like this, like just advanced self-improvement concepts. So if you like this video and the videos that I make, that's the kind of place which I think you'll really like. In fact, we've got hundreds of guys in there who have now started saying that they don't even watch like YouTube. They've completely deleted social media because this is like their source of like self-improvement information. And it's not like a social media page, it's private, which means that there's no random urges or random Instagram hoes or, you know, internet fucking drama or whatever. So it's kind of like a good place for when you're ready to step away from social media but you still want to learn stuff like this, you join the Library of Adonis. It's the top link in the description if you're interested. Now, the final thing that I want to cover for you is diet. Digesting food is one of your biggest, most exhausting bodily processes. I'm being honest right now, I've wanted to end this video about 3 times already. I kind of go silent for a second. We've trimmed them out so you've not seen, but like I ate just before this. And here's the thing, I actually ate really fucking healthy. I ate basically no carbs. I just ate eggs and beef and whatever. And even still, even when you don't eat carbs, like carbs are particularly bad for like work, basically. Like they just make you slightly retarded. If you don't understand that right now, I guarantee like there's so much you could gain if you improved your diet. Carbs are okay if you're like an athlete, you're going to the gym, but if your big focus in life is business, you don't want to be eating many carbs. You want to go more like keto, carnivore. You'll just get way less brain fog. But eating anything, including meat, stuff that's super healthy for you, you will feel more tired afterwards, because when your body digests food, it is such an exhaustive process where if you, for example, like fasted in the morning, then you eat something, then you try and work again, you will 100% notice the difference. If right now you've lived like a fucking NPC little normie all your life, where you wake up and the first thing you do is eat, which is just fucking mental insanity, honestly. That's like being a maniac. You wake up and you eat right away. That's so fucking weird. When you really think about like what cavemen would have done, that's just fucking strange, right? It's not normal to do that. But anyway, most people live like that. That's why most people are low performers and they'll stay poor forever. When you stop wanting to be poor and you want to get rich, you have to start literally thinking, okay, well, how do I become a top performer? How do I beat other people in my field? How do I compete with them? And one of the main ways I'm telling you is to change your diet. Because if you wake up and you eat right away, then you try and work afterwards, I'm telling you, you are at least 25% worse in your work. When you wake up and you're fasted and the only thing you ingest is just water or maybe some black coffee, you will feel so mentally sharp. Like you'll have this certain like this focus, like this lightness to yourself where all of your focus is just there on your task. When you eat, you'll have this heaviness, which you might not even realize right now if you've never tried fasting before. So like I said at the start of this video, the single best way for you to outwork everyone and to be more productive is fasting. That's basically where you'll wake up and you won't eat anything till about 11 a.m. or maybe 1 p.m. You'll just eat nothing, which I know sounds crazy. Like, you'll be hungry. You'll be thinking, yeah, but I'll be hungry. Like, how that's going to be distracting. Is it really? Think about it. Is hunger distracting for human beings, like for animals, right? Don't be a fucking retard. Really ask yourself, like, from the sort of understanding of like the evolution and natural way and cavemen, would hunger make you better or worse at your work? Would it make you more focused? Of course it would. Hunger, like that uncomfortable feeling of hunger, would literally make you better at your work. Think about it. Compare being hungry to being full. Which one would make you lazier? Being full. Now, in the modern day, there's so many fucking NPCs, these fat, fluffy motherfuckers who will say, like, no, but when I'm hungry, I just can't focus. And I get it, bro. If you're a girl who's like menstruating or some shit, if you're, you're going through your period, okay, I kind of get it. If you're a fucking bitch. Are you? Because I understand, like, look, I date girls who say, like, no, I can't focus unless if I eat. Oh, I'd really feel terrible when I'm on low carb. And it makes sense. It completely makes sense. For women, it's different. You're not a fucking woman, right? Even though you're a bitch, but you're not a woman. If you're a fucking man, you've got to eat like a man. How should a man eat? You wake up, you don't eat anything. You hunt. When you've achieved some kind of fucking result, that's when you feast. The hunter doesn't wake up and eat right away. That would be fucking ridiculous, because your senses will be sharper when you're hungry. And I know that to be the case. I've literally noticed that my sense gets better and my ability to focus and just be kind of like focus on the task is way better. Look, if you feel like this advice is weird, wait, what? You're telling me not to eat for hours in the day, but I'll be hungry. I'm telling you right now, if there's any kind of negative with being hungry in terms of your focus, it feels kind of painful, it's still way better than the negative of eating something and then digesting and the whole process. Like, it's such a heavy process in the body. You won't believe me till you try. And when you try this once, I guarantee you will never look back. Wake up and don't eat anything for the first few hours of the day when you do the eat the frog task. Just fucking wake up, sit down and fucking work. After you've done that big task, after you've worked for a few hours in the morning, then you could eat. Let's say if you want to get like super high grades in school, it does not make sense for you to wake up, have breakfast, have lunch in the lunch hour of school. It makes no sense for you to do that. Instead, you should wake up, stay fasted throughout school, be the weird kid who doesn't eat inside of school. You're just you're hungry, but you're like focused. You're productive. You're just drinking water. Then when you get back home from school at 4 or 5, whatever, you have a big fucking feast because you've done the work for the day. That's the way that you will instantly become more productive, because when people eat, especially when they eat unhealthy food and when they eat carbs and sugars, you will 100% notice the difference. Right now, you're thinking, no, I've not really noticed it, but because you feel shit 24/7 and you don't even know how good you could feel. So what I suggest to you is literally tomorrow, wake up. Don't eat anything till like 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. And you'll notice that even though hunger is uncomfortable, you'll be so much more focused. There's a 0% chance you'll accidentally start scrolling on your phone or anything because of the significance of like, yeah, I'm hungry, I'm here to focus and work. And then I guarantee you'll know what's going to happen. You'll eat and then you'll completely feel, oh shit, whoa, like I really felt just how shit eating makes me feel. And this is especially if you've got a bad diet, like you eat fucking carbs and you eat fucking like, just fucking modern day fucking peasant food, like fucking bread and pasta and rice. And rice isn't too bad, but like most of this shit that most people are eating is just really fucking bad. Never mind fucking like Twinkies and Pop-Tarts, like a fucking retard bodybuilder. If you're eating weird shit like that, like cereal, holy fuck, you're going to feel the difference if you give this a try just once. Now you might ask, okay, but what about bodybuilding though? Because you're supposed to eat like every few hours and whatever. I'm bulking or I need protein. And to that, you know what? I'd actually agree with you and say, fair enough, that will actually benefit your bodybuilding journey. But you need to just decide what's the one priority in your life right now. If it's bodybuilding, if it's building the physique, then yeah, eat around the clock, but then don't expect amazing results in your business. Just be focused on bodybuilding. If you're watching this channel, my understanding is your priority is work and career, studies and business and money. If that's the case, I'm telling you, just take the L with bodybuilding, take the L with the sort of fitness thing right now, and just eat maybe 2 meals a day. Wake up, don't eat anything for the first few hours, do the eat the frog thing, just stay super focused, hungry, productive, black coffee, water, and then once you're done working for the day, that's when you can go and eat more. This is why I suggest to anyone who's like super committed to their business or their study or careers or whatever to consider going on a low carb diet, because I'm telling you, when you eat carbs, you'll very much feel the difference. Fruit sometimes is okay, especially like watery fruit, like watermelon, whatever, you know, because it's quite voluminous, but there's a lot of water inside. But dried fruit or very sugary fruit like apples, oranges, those kinds of things, which are quite like calorie packed, you will feel the difference. I thought fruit would have been okay, but then I did an experiment myself where I tried it with like some apples and oranges, and even that I could tell the difference. Like when you're super fasted, you can tell the difference. The only thing I've never really felt that much difference from when I'm fasted, so you know, the thing that I can eat, is just whey protein powder with water. So if I still want to get protein in, I'll wake up and I'll go to my blender, I'll put some water in and 1 scoop of protein, just have that. You know, it's like this much, like frothy liquid. It doesn't taste nice, but I have that and it's like, okay, I've got some protein inside of me. It kind of pushes off the hunger feeling, but I don't feel like I'm digesting much at all. So I'm still able to work really, really well. But when I have even small things like milk inside of the coffee and honey in the coffee, or, you know, even eggs and stuff, you'll notice the difference. Honestly, if you're used to fasting, you will completely notice. Like, you'll become so aware of what your body feels like, which is like, this is such a big part. You should understand this. I'm telling you right now, the men that you look up to, all of them are into fasting. Like Andrew Tate, Iman Gadzhi, there's Justin Waller recently, Joe Rogan. I'm telling you, all these guys, I've personally watched their content, and each and every one of them they praise fasting a lot because it's just way better, bro. Like, I'm not saying you have to do anything crazy like 1 meal a day or anything, but just don't eat in the first few hours when you're focused on your business work. There's no benefit to your business for you eating beforehand. If you feel really hungry, drink some more fucking water and the hunger goes away. It's like, be a fucking man, bro. Like, hunger is like a feeling that our ancestors have dealt with for fucking millions of years. Now a modern day little boy can't go without his fucking Pop-Tarts and a protein bar or some shit. It's like, fucking grow up, honestly. Again, if you want to be a bodybuilder, I understand. Go ahead and have your fucking Pop-Tart cereal bullshit. I understand it. Go have the protein powder 24/7 and shit. But if your focus right now is your money, just fucking fast. The best case scenario, if you want to be like some of the top people, I would say, is you wake up and you literally don't eat anything till dinner time. That's what I've seen, you know, from these like really fucking masculine guys. I've seen this in Justin Waller and Andrew Tate. I've watched like old videos of theirs, but you know, someone's randomly asked them like, what's your diet like, whatever, and both guys, and I've heard this from a lot of guys, not just like from rich guys, you know, because there's a lot of rich people who are just fucking saggy old pieces of shit, like Warren Buffett and stuff, and you know, they eat fucking McDonald's and stuff. You don't just want to be a rich fucking like saggy motherfucker, right? You want to be a rich fucking like red pill alpha male type of Chad type of guy, right? Like a high value man, top 1% man, whatever fucking key terms are going viral these days. You want to be like one of those masculine motherfuckers, right? I'm telling you, I see from all of them, they all just happen to mention the same diet, which is that they wake up, they don't eat anything. Maybe they just have tons of black coffee for hours and hours. Many of these guys smoke as well. Nicotine can be good, even though it's like bad for you. Nicotine's pretty good for focus. And then they just have dinner at like 5 p.m. They only eat once and they have a big dinner. And what I've noticed also about all these guys is most of them are 80% carnivore, where basically that means most of their diet is actually meat. You know how okay, we should have protein, 180 grams of protein a day, whatever. None of these guys that I've looked up to have ever said that they know how much protein they eat or anything. They just eat as much meat as they can at like 5 p.m. It's not like, you know, meat with the rice that your parents cook or meat with like fucking pasta or something. They'll have just meat on the plate. Like, imagine that. Imagine a plate with meat, not like with the fucking rice, with the bread, with the pasta, faster, whatever. There's just meat on the fucking plate, and you eat so much of the meat till you're satisfied. And what I've heard from these guys is like they're not autistic with it. They're not scared of carbs. Andrew Tate, in one video I watched of his years ago, he said like, yeah, if there's some like fries on the table, I'll take like a little handful of something. But mostly they're just having like 2-3 steaks, and that's all their calories for the day. Sounds crazy. It's not optimized for bodybuilding. It's low calories. It's high calories. Whatever the fuck you want to say. I'm just telling you, I have seen from multiple guys this is exactly how they eat. And it's interesting because, like I said, it's from the type of guys who I think we want to be more like, you know, morals and values aside, but just of this fact that these are like attractive, confident, high status, masculine, rich guys. They're not just rich, but then kind of fat or whatever. They're not just like confident, but broke. These are fit guys who are jacked, who are confident and leaders and everything, right? That's like the ideal to reach for. Again, their values are separate. That's like their own psychology, philosophy of life, whatever. Take that away. Just look at them as men, as like the fucking physical specimens. That's some prime tier fucking like man to look up to. And it's interesting that all of them seem to have the same eating behaviors, or at least they've spoke about it as if that's their ideal to go for. I'm sure that they have random like day where they end up eating in the morning or something, but it's just interesting that it's the same thing over and over again, because I found this out myself. And then when I watched this random video of Andrew Tate and that's how he eats, I was like, that's so interesting, because no one eats like I do. I would wake up and fast and not eat anything, then have loads of meat. And here's another guy saying that he does the same thing. Then I started speaking to Iman Gaji in like 2022, and he messaged me saying, oh yeah, he eats mostly just meat. All these guys aren't eating meat just for the sort of 180 grams of protein per pound of body weight bullshit. They're just eating meat because they've noticed that when you eat more meat and less carbs, your brain is better for your work. I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest fucking tips I can give you is don't eat in the morning, fast and have maybe 2 meals a day. Like for example, I'll wake up at like 6. And the ideal is I won't eat till maybe about 11. Then I'll eat 1 meal then I'll go to the gym. Then I have a very early dinner. I eat dinner at like 2 p.m. So I eat 2 meals, done. And I won't eat for the rest of the day. Maybe like some tiny little snack or some shit, some fruit or whatever. That's like the ideal I think you should go for. But if you want to be as productive as possible, wake up, work all day, and then at 5 p.m. just eat 3 steaks and then go to sleep. You'll be surprised, even though the calories and the protein and whatever isn't optimized, I'm telling you, for some reason, you're going to notice, 1, you're making way more money. 2, this hunger makes you feel good. 3, you feel like you've got higher testosterone. And finally, 4, in a weird way, even though it's not supposed to work because all these fat, weird, fucking like almost dying bodybuilders online tell you that this isn't optimal and you need to eat fucking Pop-Tarts and shit. For some reason, you'll build a better physique with this as well. I know it sounds weird because the bodybuilding gains will come from carbs and whatever, but I'm telling you, for some reason, if you just follow this diet, you eat a fuck ton of meat at like 5 p.m. You don't eat before then, and then go to sleep at like 9, 10, whatever. You'll just wake up the next day and you'll feel fucking nice. You'll be, holy shit, like I feel light all day. I'm hungry, I'm just having black coffee, whatever. You'll feel productive, and also you'll notice your physique's getting leaner but bigger at the same time. It's just, there's something weird and beautiful about eating meat and eggs. And this is the way I would structure my diet if I wanted to be more of a businessman than a bodybuilder. Because this is something I think about a lot. Literally, even me and my cameraman before this video, we were talking about what our diet should be like. Because we're both getting more into bodybuilding, into like, building the physique. And it's like, yeah, should you be eating these carbs before training? Because that's what all these motherfuckers online say. It's like, yeah, you've got to wake up and eat rice and oats all throughout the day. And, and it's just, I just don't want to fucking eat like that. Because you feel like shit, you're nowhere near as productive, your brain doesn't work as well when you're eating every 3 hours. It's like, that's not how humans are meant to be eating. And I understand that, you'll make that sacrifice for bodybuilding, but what I'm saying in this part of this video is maybe you don't even need to eat like a bodybuilder to build muscle like a bodybuilder. Maybe just eating like a fucking caveman, but then training hard in the gym will make you awesome gains in the gym, but also you'll have that sort of brain productivity, that lightness, that hunger, which is good for business as well. So this part of the video is very controversial. A lot of motherfuckers will hate me for this and they'll think, wait, what? Like, you're saying not to eat? But the doctor told me that you should eat 3 meals or 6 meals a day and whatever. And, every bodybuilder will say, no, but you need this much grams of protein every 3 hours and pre-workout meal and post-workout meal and all this. Like, overall, I think when I look back into the seasons of my life, this like fasting season where I wake up, I stay hungry, I just drink black coffee, then I go to the gym, then I eat after that, I often feel the best in those seasons. I never feel amazing when I eat like a bodybuilder and, I wake up and I take the fucking, the protein bars and carbs before training and stuff. And you might build a pretty good physique that way. But what's the physique for if you feel like fucking shit and also you're not even making money and you're fucking broke or whatever? So there's a fine balance. You need to figure it out for yourself, but I just wanted to like drop this nugget for you so it stays in your mind. You're thinking that, yeah, fuck it. Like tomorrow, why don't you just give it a try and just see what happens? You wake up, don't eat anything, just have like 5 cups of fucking black coffee for the first like hours and hours of the day, and have your first meal like maybe 4 or 6 hours later than you usually have it. So if you usually eat breakfast at like 8, have that same meal at like 12, and understand you're gonna feel hungry, but when you feel hungry, it doesn't mean that you can't work. It doesn't mean you have to act like a fucking obese white woman who she's like, oh my god, I'm hungry. It's like, yeah, sure, you're hungry. Just fucking focus back on the work, motherfucker. That was the point of this. Don't be a little bitch and give up tomorrow, right? Give it a try just for one day. And then when you eat, I think you'll notice just how tired you get after eating. And that's how you felt 24/7. So can you see how fucking shit your life quality is when you're a fucking bot who eats fucking like all around the fucking clock? It's crazy, man. So it's been huge for me, honestly. This is huge for me personally, just eating less meals per day and eating less carbs, eating later on in the day, fasting. This was one of the biggest productivity tactics I've ever found in my life. We discuss more things like this, but also the step-by-step protocol on building a business and becoming an entrepreneur inside of my program, ECC, Educational Content Creators. Top link in the description if you want to have a look. Click and watch this video to continue learning. Goodbye. Mwah.